The other side of Sam Adams is the Harvard-educated, erudite, articulate political theorist. And he wrote his actually master's thesis at Harvard University. And the focus of the thesis was, when is it okay? When is it justified for a people to rise up against the magistrate? So this is something that early on he had at least been thinking about. And he writes one of the great treatises of this period of time in 1772, The Rights of the Colonists. And here it's a very intellectual argument about why the colonists have a right to rebel against the king, or more specifically against the parliament. So what happens here is you have two sides. The elite side of Sam Adams. The Sam Adams who's making these wonderfully intellectual political arguments to justify the rebellion. And it's written at a very high level, and it's focused on American and European intellectuals. And it's read widely throughout the colonies. And then you have the other side, the pragmatic Sam Adams, the radical who behind closed doors is planning the revolt. And he wasn't afraid to lie. While Adams, the well-educated elite of Boston community, is talking about political justifications and quoting the great classical and contemporary political theorists, he's also mounting a disinformation campaign that is absolutely stunningly successful. What is he doing? Oh, he's blaming the British for raping women, for stealing, for not obeying the Sabbath. Anything that he can come up with to denigrate the enemy. The wonderful things about this is that, frankly, most of these were lies. The British soldiers were professionals. They behaved accordingly. And very rarely did they do any of the things that Sam Adams accused them of doing. But when you're starting a revolt, facts and lies sometimes are mixed together. Anything to effectively get the people to rebel. And Adams understood this. You can appeal to the mind only so much. You must appeal to the emotions to get people actually out of their chairs doing something, particularly when he tries to appeal to the masses. And here's the organizational structure. And what I like to title it so that people really understand the Sons of Liberty is to understand them as the American Liberation Organization, to use 21st century or 20th century terms, because that's precisely what it is. It's a liberation organization. It's a covert operation to undermine British control of American society. And then look at how well it's planned. If anybody knows anything about, if studied the Irish Republican Army, they divided between Sinn Féin, the political arm, and then the military arm of the Irish Republican Army. Why? Because they wanted to be able to present a legitimate face to the world community, and they also wanted to be able to do the dirty work necessary to create a rebellion. And that's precisely what happens with the Sons of Liberty.